sound of that spool. Alright, so I am back at it and I'm just gonna tell you guys, Mark, you won, buddy. You came up with the most clever, or the cleverest name for the van. So she shall be known from here on out as Vanna White. Hey yo, this is Dash. Yeah. Hey yo, this is Dash, and yeah. So let's talk about the van for a second. Thing's already costing me money. So I told you guys before that I was gonna have to get the van state inspected, Maryland state inspected. So I went to get for the Maryland state inspection, and when I took it, the guy, I took it to a, I won't say reputable, but I took it to a gas station that does inspections. Not every mechanic in the area will do the inspection. So he did the inspection. He found that it needed brakes on all four corners. It needed a serpentine belt. It needed one wheel, and it needed 2 tires, and it needed a backup light. So I'm like, all right, I went and talked to the guy, and he's starting to break down the cost of everything involved. The serpentine belt was like $300. And I knew I didn't want to do the serpentine belt because there's no room under the hood of that van. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Go ahead and take care of the serpentine belt. He told me the price on the brakes, all 4 corners. Now, he had the van up in the air, and unfortunately, still don't feel comfortable necessarily pulling out my camera and filming certain places. So I didn't. But he was talking to me, and he showed me exactly what the problem was with the rotors and pads. It needed pads. I can understand it needed pads. So I questioned him. I'm like, well, what is the minimum rotor thickness recommended? He said 1.1 inches. Anybody want to take any guesses to the thicknesses of the rotors? So I had one that was 1.09, one that was 1.08, and 2 that were 1.06. Yeah. So you had to replace those. Now, again, I understand. Fine. You know what? I can do the brakes. I probably could have done the brakes. I probably should have done the brakes, but I didn't do the brakes because it's cold. And I don't have any heat in my garage, and it probably would have taken me the better part of a good day and some change to get it done. Plus, if he got it done, if he did it, he would not have to re-inspect it, and that would save me a little bit of money and time and definitely frustration as opposed to me doing the work myself, though the plan is to do all the future work myself, if at all possible. But, so, brakes all the way around 4 corners, $1,000. Exactly. That's a lot of daggone money. Heavy duty truck, heavy duty parts, heavy duty cost. And honestly enough, again, half of that is parts, the other half was labor, or slightly higher than half of that was parts, and the other half was slightly lower than labor. Again, it's like in the teens right now, 20 degrees, between the teens and the mid to high 20s right now. And I just can't see myself sitting out in the garage all day long working on it. Yeah, just can't do it. Not right now. So I'll pay that money. Peace of mind that it's done correctly. The new pads, rotors, seals, the bearings are going to be. He repacked the bearings. He checked all the calipers, all of those things like that. He said they're all good. And then lastly, the serpentine belt. I talked to you about the serpentine belt. It needed 2 tires. The 2 tires were on the wear bars. And then you remember that that issue I was having with the truck making a whole bunch of noise going down the road? It wasn't brakes. It wasn't a hub. It was a tire. So unfortunately, it might be kind of hard for you to see on camera, but this was the only lug that was holding everything on 100%. The other ones, just about almost all of them, he said there was 2, I think these 2, that the lugs weren't even on properly. He said whoever put this wheel on, they must not have had it centered on the hub all the way, and because it wasn't centered on the hub all the way, it was wobbling. That was my problem. So this is the beginning of the video, and unfortunately I told a couple of you guys that I was going out. So to remedy that situation, what I ended up doing is I went to a junkyard, a used auto recycler, and I was able to pick up 2 steel wheels that matched the bolt pattern and were Ford steel wheels. So I got 2 steel wheels, and then I actually got 2 tires. So now I'm going to replace the 2 wheels that need to be, well, the 1 wheel that needs to be replaced, and then I'm going to actually have a spare. That's what I'm using the second wheel for, because I didn't have a spare. So the 1 tire that failed the inspection is going to be my spare, and then the other 2 tires that I just got are going to go on the van and be probably my rear tires, because they're better than the other 2. And then I'll replace the other 2 at some point. I'll find some tires and replace them. But that's the update so far. I'm hoping that towards the end of this video, you'll see me actually going and picking up the van, fully inspected, and then I have to take the inspection certificate to the state of Maryland so that I can get them to prolong or finish my registration. So hopefully all goes as planned, and I might be picking up the van either later tonight or early tomorrow. Or tomorrow. Either way, thanks as always for watching, and wait, we're not done yet. I'll see you in a bit. Go Eagles, let's go Eagles. Anyway, Saturday morning, it's 15 degrees out. I got the van back. Of course, my wife is already putting me to work. She's asking me to take stuff to the dump. So while I go to the dump, let's talk about how much this thing has cost me already. So I'm taking Vanna White, the E350 6-liter diesel, to the dump. It's Saturday morning and it's 15 degrees out. You guys should have seen a cold start by now. But that's not the reason I'm talking to you guys today. So this van has already cost me some money. Like some serious coin. And when I bought the van, I told you guys, hey, look, Vanna, there's your brother, cousin. Look, there's another E350 right there. But that's a gasser. Yeah, that's a gasser. We don't blah. All right, anyway. But that's not the reason why I wanted to talk to you guys, not going to the dump anyway. The reason I wanted to talk to you guys is about how much Vanna, okay. The man brother just decided to randomly cut us off and come on to this lane. I want to talk about how much this van has cost me so far. So, I don't really talk numbers and figures and money a lot of times on my channel. Just because I want you guys to figure it out yourselves. But I can tell you that that last caterer job I did, I had about a $2,000 profit, okay? And then I bought Vanna, okay? And I didn't use the proceeds from that catering job for the purchase of Vanna. I did that on my own. And I'm by no means rich. And I am by no means getting rich yet by making YouTube videos. But I am trying to make moves and make investments in my business. Hence the reason I bought Vanna. Alright? Now, when I bought Vanna, I said, okay, I bought Vanna, and again, I don't usually talk numbers, but I spent $3,500 on Vanna, okay? Purchase price. And I apologize if it's a little loud. Purchase price, $3,500. So I said, okay, guy was asking 42. I got him down to 35. Everything was all good. Picked up the van. Now, as soon as I picked up the van,
I had to get tags on it so that I could drive it away. So the guy took me to his spot being someone he uses often to sell, you know, when he purchases. He seems like he does a lot of flip cars. So I go there to her spot. It cost me all told, with the transferring the title, applying for the title, transferring the title, doing a temporary registration, and one or two other fees from the state of Maryland, as well as from this tag and title place. It was $250. So we got the purchase price, we got the $250 to get it to get the registration taken care of. Then, of course, on my way to getting the registration stuff squared away, I had to contact my insurance company. I called the insurance company. They told me for basic insurance, or just liability only on the vehicle, versus full coverage. So basic insurance was $250 for 6 months. Full coverage was $450 for 6 months. I opted for full coverage. And then one of the other things I did, I also added a roadside assistance. The roadside assistance cost me $100 for the year. We're going to tack that onto this because I only bought it because I bought Vanna. All right, so we're good, right? So now I have gone ahead and I've bought the van. I got the registration, or temporary registration, so that I can drive it. I have insurance, right? Now, this is where it gets fun. When I get home, I told you guys that I had to get it inspected. The inspection, it was $80, okay? Now, what the inspection uncovered was that I needed brakes. I needed brakes all the way around 4 corners, rotors and pads. I needed a serpentine belt. I needed a wheel, because I showed you the wheel, how the wheel was messed up. And then I needed, oh, am I gonna fit? Yes, did not bump mirrors. And then I needed, 2 tires. So I told you the situation about the tires. If I didn't, I'll quickly go back over it. I went to a junkyard. I was able to find 1 wheel. Well, I found 2 wheels because I didn't have a spare, so I bought 2 wheels and I bought 2 tires. The 2 wheels cost me $40 a piece. The tires cost me $25 a piece. So the guy who was doing the inspection, his estimate for wheels and tires, 1 wheel and 2 tires, was $400 for a cheap set and $440 for a set of hand-cooked tires. Now, mind you, they're truck tires, you know, load E-range, 10-ply tires. So these aren't regular passenger car tires, right? So I knew they were gonna be, or I was hoping they wouldn't be that much more expensive, but they were. Nonetheless, as opposed to spending $400 with him, I spent $130 at the recycle center, and was able to get 2 tires and 2 wheels. So one of the tires that did not pass inspection is now my spare, because again, I did not have one. And and then the other 2 tires are on the van with the other 2 wheels. So it's like, great. Now, let's get back to how much the brakes cost. Serpentine belt. The serpentine belt was $370, I think it was, plus or minus. And I apologize, I left the breakdown sheet at home. I thought I was gonna have it, but I thought I left it in the van specifically so that I could talk to you guys about this, but I forgot it. Anyway, the serpentine belt was $370. When I looked up, when I saw the van up on the lift at the inspection spot, I knew that I didn't want to do the serpentine belt because it looked like it was going to be a bear to get done. And it's cold out. And this is what I want you guys to keep in mind when I'm telling you all of the things that I had done. The fact that it's cold, because that's the main reason why I didn't do a lot of the things on the van myself. All right, serpentine belt was $370. When he took out the serpentine belt, he had to remove the radiator to get it out. So that cost me another like $15 per jug, and it was two gallons of coolant that he replaced. So that was like another, $40. Then the brakes. Now again, he did the brakes for me on all 4 corners. The front brakes and pad, or rotors and pads, were $570 plus or minus. And then the brakes and rotors, the pads and rotors on the rear were $400, again, plus or minus. So, and I'm a really competent mechanic. I could have definitely gotten it done. I'd have looked up a couple YouTube videos, figured out exactly what I needed, all of those things like that. But, man, living in Baltimore, seeing a heroin addict, it's just horrible. I'm not putting it on camera, but it hurts my heart when I see it. Anyway, all right, so the brakes, it's about $1,000 in the brakes. And the reason why I didn't do the brakes myself was because it's cold out. And in order for me to get under the van, the van will fit in my garage, that's not a problem, or Vanna will fit in my garage, shout out to you, Mark. But the problem I have is it's cold. And I didn't want to be out in the van for 10 to 12 hours getting the brakes done. I know it probably wouldn't take that long, but if it did take that long, I just didn't want to do it. And where I was at was, it ended up costing me, oh boy, look at that, starburst there. It cost me $1,400 with the inspection and all the repairs that he got done for it to pass inspection, to get the Vanna passed. So, not that I couldn't have done it myself, and I don't feel like I was bent over a barrel. I really just wanted to get it done, and I wanted to get it done quickly, and I didn't want to have to take it back for re-inspection. And like I said, I'm not going into great detail about the whole thing. Is I would have done the brakes, and I would have probably just done the the pads. The reason why the brakes failed, because it needed pads, and it also needed rotors. The rotors were like 1/10 and 2/10 under spec. And because they were 1/10 and 2/10 under spec, he would have failed it. So had I taken the van home and done all the work myself, I'd end up having to probably do it twice, or taking everything apart at least twice, because I'd have done the brakes and put them onto the rotors, and then he would have failed it, vehicle again, and yeah, it wouldn't have been a good look. Anyway, so I spent the money. Now, so just to recap, I bought the van. I paid the registration to get the temporary registration and the title, the tags and title and stuff done. I paid insurance. I paid for the roadside assistance. Then I paid for the inspection and stuff. And then, in the inspection, one of the things I had to do in the inspection, and I had to get some windshield wipers. A guy told me to replace the windshield wipers before I even took it up there, just as a precaution, because usually that's one of the things that people fail for, and I didn't want to get caught out there. One of the things I also, I don't think I mentioned, is there was a backup light that was out in the van, and it cost me $15 for him to replace it, and $3 or $4 for the bulb. Had I known, or had I had someone to be able to check that for me or with me, I would have just done it myself, obviously, and saved a couple bucks. But that's neither here nor there. So the windshield wipers were like $12 a piece, so we got another $20, $25 for that. And then lastly, I went and fully registered the van. Well, I fully registered Vanna. I gotta get used to saying Vanna. So I fully registered Vanna, and that cost me $157. Now, I only got registration for 1 year. And I only got registration for 1 year to save some money for right now, to save some upfront money. But what I ended up doing, I had a personal plate on my Jetta, okay, the Mistress, and I took the plates from the Jetta, and I'm putting that personal plate because it's the initials of my business, SDSBBQ, from my Jetta, and I put them on to the van. So, all told, and I haven't done the math because, as you can plainly see, I've been driving this whole time, and I wanted to talk to you guys, and you know, I'm having a good time in the van, driving it around, and oh my gosh, I'm just having a ball, right? So, but I knew going in that it was going to cost me some money. Now, the major costs, like if I were to purchase this from a dealer or off of a lot of those costs would have been absorbed into the price of the van. Had I bought this vehicle from a dealer, it probably would have cost me $7 grand. All told, with the fact that they had to bring it up to spec to pass inspection, you know, tires, the tag and the title work from the dealer would have cost me some money. So I'm into the van about what, $5,500, six grand, with the registration and all of those other things. I didn't do the math. Maybe at this point I'll do the math on the screen. Let me move over. Here's my number down there. Did I guess about right? Because, when I got the brakes and rotors done, I told them to put the old pads or the old parts in the van. 1, because I want to make sure it was done. 2, because I can take that stuff for scrap. If you don't take your parts for scrap, you know, you should. But my guess, you know, again, it was $3,500 for the van and $1,500 in repairs. That's $5 grand. It cost me $400 in insurance, $250 for, God, I'm over $6 grand. We're right at about $6 grand. $450 for insurance, $100 for the roadside assistance, $250 for the registration, the initial transfer of registration, so that I could get the temp tags on it. $157 for the full 1-year registration and having to pay the extra fee for having a personal plate. So I'm rated about $6 grand. I'm not mad at that for what I'm going to be using. I'm already putting the van to use. Hopefully you guys understand and can empathize with why I spent the money that I've spent. Now, again, it has put a great hindrance on my plans. When I got the catering job, I really didn't think about buying a van, and then I kind of just found the van on Craigslist. And when I say I put things in motion, I put things in motion. And I paid the money, I got the van. I was really hoping to be able to get the van and use the van for that catering job. I was unable to. I wasn't able to, by the time the dust settled, I couldn't pick the van up until the Saturday afternoon after the catering event, which is fine because I have Vanna now, and you know, I'm good. Now, of course, I spent the money to get the stuff for it to pass inspection, but it still needs some work. Again, I knew that going in. It has, you know, a couple problems. I told you guys before that one of the first things I want to replace is the battery, or 2 batteries it has. So this morning when I started the van, it's 15 degrees out. It's cold. It took a little extra. It took a little bit much to get it started, which is fine. There are a few codes, engine codes that it showed that were cleared, of course, that I have to drive the van in order for them to pop back up for me to be able to read them again, and I can go from there. That's the reason why I'm driving the van, because I need to put 50 miles on it or so so that those codes can show back up. But I'm hoping those things are not obviously detrimental for it to start. It's sometimes I have an issue with it starting while it's warm. So how do we solve that? Leave it running. I don't have a problem with that. Again, I started up. I'm not doing deliveries in this vehicle right now or today, so I can leave it running. That's fine. All right, so I'm gonna stick this in the middle of the video I was shooting already, because I remembered that I started going down not a tangent, but I started going down. I had a thought, and because I'm driving and I saw something, I totally changed my train of thought, and I didn't finish my point. My point was, when I started out, I started telling you guys, like I said, the proceeds, the profit from this catering job was about $2,000. My plan when I was ready to get this catering job, was ready to do this catering job, I knew and I know that my laptop needs to be replaced. My laptop is going on 6 years old, and the strain of me making YouTube videos is killing it. I have gone ahead and removed a lot of my old videos off of it. I've removed a lot of the catalog of videos that I had on the laptop for over the past, 5 to 6 years. And all of those things freed up like 600 or 700 gigs of room. But when I got the new camera, me being able to film is so much easier. Me being able to put different things together is a lot easier. Anyway, I needed a new laptop, and I wanted to get a new laptop. I was hoping, and I've been looking for a new laptop since before Thanksgiving. I was hoping that I would have enough money from the proceeds from Thanksgiving to be able to take care of getting a new laptop. Had some other things to take care of. That didn't work out. I was hoping to be able to save up some funds and work towards getting, a new laptop towards Christmas, but 3 children, a wife, having to buy my, Christmas gifts, that didn't work out. So when I got this catering job, or got word of this catering job, in the back of my mind, I knew in my heart of hearts that my plan was to use the proceeds to buy myself a new laptop. But that didn't work out. So I ended up taking the monies that I had for my laptop and I put it into Vanna. Both would have been investments into my YouTube channel as well as into my business. I feel like my greatest return or rate of return or return on investment is obviously putting money into the van right now. So I put the money into Vanna, and obviously I'm going to make the money back out. You know how? I'm going to do some odd jobs. I'm going to, do some moving of things. I'm going to do whatever it takes to recoup the money that I put into it. Well, I'm going to recoup the money I put into it, period. I'm not even going to say I'm going to recoup the money I put above and beyond what I purchased it for. I'm getting it all back. I'm putting it out there. I'm getting it all back, and we're going to just go from there. Anyway, now I will put in the regular ending that I already shot, and all right. I think that's about everything. Again, I told you guys I do have some more work I need to get done on the vehicle, and I'll get it done in due time. You guys I'm hoping to be able to bring you guys on and along for this journey. So with that being said, I really do want to thank you guys again for your support. Thank you guys for your encouragement and your statement about me getting Vanna. Mark, shout out to you. Alright, anyway, thank you guys for watching as always. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. If you like what you saw or you learned something, leave me a thumbs up down below. And I'll see you guys next time.